피델 카스트로가 정권을 잡은 지 1년도 채 안 돼 쿠바의 자본주의 경제체제는 무너지고 말았다. 체게바라는 농지 몰수와 직접적인 관련이 있었고 외국 기업은 국유화됐으며 수천 명의 쿠바인들이 고향을 떠났다. 쿠바와 미국과의 관계는 악화됐고 구소련과 손을 잡는 상황이 됐다. 미국은 마침내 조치를 취했다.
A plan has been presented to President Eisenhower and he signs it.
쿠바에 침투하기 위한 비밀 첩보 활동이 전개됐다.
The U.S. responded to the radicalization in Cuba by building up its biggest ever CIA base in Miami, recruiting thousands of Cuban exiles to work for it. One of the CIA's recruits was a young man called Felix Rodriguez.
쿠바에서 태어나 자란 펠릭스와 그 가족은 카스트로가 정권을 잡았을 때 마이애미로 이주했다.
I learned that they were training camp to go and fight Castro, so I joined them. And I was then 18.
쿠바 난민들은 CIA의 지도하에 과테말라에서 군사 훈련을 받았고 곧 쿠바에 파견됐다.
Our team infiltrated Cuba before the invasion to work with the resistance.
한편 1961년 1월 20일 미국에서는 존 F. 케네디가 대통령에 취임했다.
At the very first meeting, the CIA director for the Western Hemisphere said, unless you eliminate Fidel Castro, Raul Castro, and Che Guevara as part of this plan, you are never going to win. This is going to be one long, drawn-out affair.
케네디는 이에 동의했다. 그는 CIA의 쿠바 침공 계획뿐 아니라 암살 계획까지 지원하기로 한 것이다.
So, in August of 1960, a very high CIA official named Richard Bissell authorized the CIA to create poison pills that would then be sent to mafia contacts inside Cuba and somehow put in Fidel's food.
비록 암살 시도는 실패로 돌아갔지만 쿠바 침공 계획은 1961년 4월 15일에 시작됐다.
It was in the course of the fighting that Fidel finally showed his true colors and announced that he was socialist, Marxist-Leninist, that the regime henceforth was going to be allied to the Soviet Union.
피델 카스트로는 체게바라에게 쿠바의 서부군 지휘권을 줬지만 훨씬 남쪽의 플라야 기론, 즉 피그즈만이란 지역에 저항군의 침투가 이루어졌다. 1,500명의 쿠바 난민으로 구성된 2506 여단은 1961년 4월 17일 쿠바 섬에 접근했지만 카스트로의 공군에 의해 배가 침몰하고 말았다.
We was waiting some support, like air support, Navy support, but nothing of that happened.
Within 48 hours, this force was largely decimated.
체는 이 사건과 큰 관계가 없었지만 피델 카스트로와 함께 미국에 맞서 싸우기로 결의한 사이였다.
And they were heroes for everybody, in school, in the universities, on the Soviet leadership.
하지만 미국의 새 대통령에게 쿠바 침공은 큰 낭패였다.
It was a famous meeting between Che Guevara and a Kennedy aide named Richard Goodwin. The first thing he said to Goodwin was, "Thank you for the Bay of Pigs. It allowed our revolution to consolidate. Before the invasion, we were a somewhat fragmented, young government, but after the revolution, our victory and the kind of nationalist fervor that your invasion caused has allowed us to truly move forward far more stronger than we had been before." It backfired in every conceivable way possible.
피델 카스트로와 체는 미국이 다시 침공할 것이라 여기고 구소련에게 보호를 요청했다.
My father told, we cannot protect Cuba using our conventional forces. So it must be signal. If you invade Cuba, you will be in trouble because we are serious. The last discussion about deploying missiles in Cuba, it was in Che Guevara and Khrushchev.
머지않아 쿠바에 설치된 구소련의 미사일이 발각됐다.
It was a very, very dangerous time.
피델 카스트로와 체는 미국 침공 시 미사일을 발사할 것을 구소련에 촉구했다.
Castro was so aggressive that Khrushchev totally cut him out of the loop on these negotiations.
크루시초프는 카스트로나 체와 상의도 없이 미국의 케네디와 거래를 했다.
American would never invade Cuba. We will take our missiles out.
이는 피델 카스트로와 체에게 있어 명백한 배신 행위였다.
I mean, it was Che who was the first Cuban official face-to-face with a Soviet official to kind of basically read the Soviets the Riot Act.
구소련의 환상에서 깨어난 체는 좌익 성향을 가진 다른 동맹국들을 찾아야 한다는 사실을 깨달았다. 그는 중국에서 자신이 찾던 동지를 발견했다.
You have the extreme revolutionaries, Maoist, and Che Guevara, he belonged to this extreme.
체는 농업 기반 사회인 중국을 현대 공산주의 국가로 만들겠다는 마오쩌둥의 계획에 깊이 감명받았고 또한 쿠바를 그렇게 만들고 싶어 했다. 그가 꿈꾸는 새로운 사회에 걸맞은 이상적인 인간상은 사사로운 이익보다 대의를 중시하는 사람이었다.
Now in our Cuba, work is acquiring a new meaning and is done with a new joy.
The idea was to create a new man who was willing to sacrifice himself on behalf of others, to build a socialist paradise through hard work and dedication. He very often even slept in his office. And even famous visitors remark finding him there, sometimes asleep on the floor. He instituted a volunteer labor program whereby on his only free day he would go off to cut cane himself.
동지들에게도 똑같이 할 것을 권유했다.
He became renowned in Havana as a bit of a party pooper.
아내인 알레이다와 네 자녀들도 그의 완관 이념을 따라야 했다.
He was austere and severe at home. He refused to let his wife Aleida have the benefits of his ministry car. She had to take the bus. If she was given a gift by a foreign dignitary, she had to return them.
체의 마음속엔 이 밖에도 여러 가지 계획이 있었다.
Che wanted to focus much more on international revolution.
So he began to revive his hopes of extending the socialist revolution to other parts of Latin America as a way to create breathing space, open up a new lung for Cuba in the hemisphere. He began to be seen increasingly by the Soviets as a kind of dangerous radical who was pro-Chinese. They were critical of him with Fidel.
체는 쿠바의 상황이 점차 복잡해지는 것을 깨닫고 쿠바를 떠날 계획을 세우기 시작했다.
Che understood that Fidel was entirely now dependent on the Soviet Union economically, and it was up to him to sally forth and revolutionize the socialist world.
성공하기 위해서는 구소련과 맞서야만 했고 그럴 경우 피델 카스트로와의 관계는 물론 자신마저도 위험해질지 모르는 일이었다. (1963년경) 쿠바의 경제 사정은 바닥을 쳤고 나라를 부강하게 만들고자 했던 체게바라의 계획은 실패로 돌아갔다. 그의 해결책은 쿠바와 구소련의 관계를 청산하고 혁명을 전 세계로 확산시키는 것이었다.
Che became increasingly disenchanted with the way things were shaping up to be in Cuba as a Soviet satellite.
1964년 8월 린든 존슨 정부의 쿠바에 대한 기존의 관심은 베트남과 폭동이 점차 증가하는 추세에 있던 아프리카로 옮겨졌다. 쿠바의 관심도 아프리카로 향했는데 특히 이전의 빌게리형이었던 콩고 지역에 이목이 집중됐다.
The Congo lay at the heart of Africa. It could be a kind of motor or heart for socialist revolution which could radiate outward and liberate the hemisphere.
CIA의 지원을 받는 카사부부 대통령 정부는 콩고 민족 해방운동이라 불리는 반란군 세력과 대치하고 있었다.
The CIA creates an army of about, on average, 1,000 mercenaries, half from South Africa and Rhodesia, the other half from Europe.
And the Cubans felt that they should go and support the forces who were fighting the United States-backed groups.
The impression Che Guevara got was of a revolt that was still very strong and with very committed leaders.
체는 콩고를 혁명의 본거지로 삼으리라 결심하고 그가 그렇게 오랫동안 경멸해왔던 미국 뉴욕으로 떠났다.
He came to the United States in December of 1964 and addressed the United Nations.
Total de los artefactos termonucleares y apoyamos la celebración de una conferencia de todos los países del mundo para llevar a cabo estas aspiraciones de los pueblos.
혁명을 상징하는 녹색 작업복을 입은 체는 베트남과 콩고 내전에 개입한 미국을 통렬하게 비난했다. 그리고는 페이스 더 네이션에 출연했다. 체는 계속해서 아프리카의 알제시에 가서 이번엔 구소련을 공개적으로 비난하는 연설을 냈다.
Che, in essence, broke his sword with the Soviets.
그리고 체는 아바나로 돌아와 피델 카스트로와 비공개 회의를 했다.
Having blasted the Soviets, who were, after all, the hand that fed Cuba, having bitten them in the hand, Fidel had to say, Che, I think it's time you go. And I think Che said, I think it's time too.
체는 콩고에서 혁명을 성공적으로 일으킨다면 다시 신뢰를 회복할 것이라 믿었다. 그는 게릴라전에 참가하는 반란군을 지원 및 훈시키로 했다.
Che had Fidel's blessing, and he essentially disappeared from the domestic political map of Cuba.
체가 통솔하는 혁명군은 1965년 4월 24일 마침내 콩고 근처의 탕가니카 호수가에 도착했다.
First of all, in the Congo, nothing was prepared. There was no chief. There were no men ready to fight.
In the case of the Congolese rebel leader, Laurent Kabila, he actually visited the front himself only once. Kabila arrived in a speedboat with a couple of prostitutes and several bottles of whiskey. Che's own Cubans almost mutinied on him once they saw the kind of men they were fighting alongside.
The few men that were there, when we gave them the weapons, they didn't know what they were receiving. They had no knowledge of weapons or ideology. They didn't know anything.
체는 반란군의 조직을 정비해서 보다 체계적인 폭동을 도모하려 했지만 그 과정에서 6명의 부하를 잃고 말았다. 체는 거의 1년 동안 자취를 감췄다.
CIA believed that he had died or might have even been killed when he left Cuba.
1965년 10월 3일 카스트로는 체에게 사형을 선고했다는 한간의 추측에 반박하기 위해 체가 보낸 편지를 공개했다.
I feel that I have fulfilled a part of my duty that tied me to the Cuban Revolution and its territory. And I say goodbye to you, to the comrades, to your people, who are now mine. I formally resign my positions in the leadership of the party, my post as minister, my rank of commander, and my Cuban citizenship. Nothing legal binds me to Cuba.
체는 그 편지가 공개되리라고는 예상치 못했다.
The day that Fidel read that letter is when we found out about it. It was a very difficult moment. He was neither the Cuban nor African leader.
Che himself was going through a very dark period. While there, he received the news that his mother had died. He was very close to his mother, and that was really hard on him.
He had turned into a withdrawn man. He didn't talk. He was always alone, sitting on a tree trunk. He was in a bad mood and he spoke very little with us.
10월 중순엔 정부군과 용병이 캠프로 들이닥쳤다.
His camp was nearly overrun.
Rebel resistance collapsed. And at the same time, what you have is the decision of the government of Tanzania that they're no longer going to support this war.
피델은 체에게 혁명을 포기하고 부하들을 데려올 것을 주장했다.
Their retreat from the Congo was ignominious. That's how he himself described it. They just barely escaped with their lives.
패배를 시인한 체는 탄자니아 대사관에 몰래 숨어 있다가 프라하의 은신처로 거처로 옮겼다.
Fidel sent couriers to him urging him to reconsider and return. Che refused. He refused to go back to Cuba after having given his word that he would go off and, if necessary, die to lead other revolutions elsewhere. After some time, Fidel told Che that he had brokered a deal with the head of the Bolivian Communist Party for him to go to Bolivia.
체는 이 기회를 잡았으며 볼리비아에서 게릴라 세력을 키워 해방 전쟁을 일으키고 이를 전 대륙으로 퍼뜨리려는 계획을 세웠다.
What he hoped to do was to spark off enough guerrilla insurgencies around the world that would attract American firepower, distract it from Vietnam, and ultimately sap it of its strength, and to overturn the world order once and for all. He was trying to start World War III.
세계 각지의 자본주의를 몰아내고 공산주의를 뿌리내리기 위한 전쟁이었다.
If he was successful, he'd be able to change the world. I don't think Che ever really contemplated failure.
콩고에서의 작전은 실패하고 피들에게 보낸 편지도 만천하에 공개됐기 때문에 체는 혁명을 완수하지 못한 채로 쿠바에 돌아가길 원치 않았다. 그는 공산주의 혁명을 확대시키기 위해 볼리비아로 향했다. 1966년 11월 체는 아무도 알아보지 못하게 변장을 하고 라파스에 도착했다.
Che had all of his hair plucked out one by one, and an identity was created for him as a traveling salesman, a man in his mid-50s.
체는 낭카와주에 있는 작전 기지로 갔고 그곳에서 로욜라 구스만과 그 밖의 다른 공산당원들을 만났다.
Era militante de la Juventud Comunista de Bolivia.
The encounter with him was a surprise because of rumors that he was held prisoner in Cuba, that Fidel was going to kill him, that he was leading guerrillas in other countries.
체는 이들에게 작전을 설명했다.
He explained the objective, which was an armed struggle in many Latin American countries, to make one, two, many Vietnams.
하지만 체는 곧 계획을 변경했다. 원래 계획대로 볼리비아를 기초로 삼아 다른 나라에서 혁명을 일으키는 대신에 볼리비아 내에서 자신이 직접 혁명 분자를 이끌고 혁명을 일으키기로 마음먹은 것이다.
Party Secretary General at that time, Mr. Monge, went into the camp and spoke with Che Guevara. And he told him that the only chance they could have was if the Bolivian Communist Party, Moscow line, would take the lead of this movement.
하지만 체는 지도자 자리를 포기하려 하지 않았다.
The party has taken up arms against us, and I do not know where this will lead, but it will not stop us.
하지만 몽제의 지원군을 잃어 체에겐 겨우 24명의 부하들만 남았다. 그중엔 쿠바에서부터 함께한 오랜 동무들도 있었다. 이들이 볼리비아에 도착할 때쯤 체의 변장은 거의 사라졌다.
When we arrived, there was none of what Fidel had promised was there. There was no food, ammo, medicine, or anything.
그뿐만이 아니었다. 쿠바에서는 농민들이 혁명을 강력하게 지지해 주었지만 볼리비아에는 그런 이들이 존재하지 않았다.
We had a land reform in 1952, so every president was the owner of his own piece of land. We had a democratic government and we had free press.
체가 공산화 운동을 시작하기 위해 택한 볼리비아의 차코 지역도 그들을 환영하는 분위기는 아니었다.
There was no vegetation, no animals. There were no farmers.
하지만 체는 계획대로 추진해 나갔다. 쿠바에서 성공을 거두었으니 볼리비아에서도 가능하다고 여겼던 것이다. 1967년 3월 19일 체 일행은 오랜 동지 몇 명과 합류했다. 그중엔 프랑스인 마르크스주의자 레지 드브레와 오랫동안 혁명을 도왔던 예술가 시에로 부스토스는 물론 전통독 스파이이자 KGB 요원으로 활약한 타냐란 인물도 있었다. 철저한 공산주의자였던 타냐는 게릴라와 외부 세계를 이어주는 유일한 연결고리였다.
Tanya was the one who searched for everything before starting battle, from clothes, shoes, food, ammo, and everything. She quickly mobilized and got everything. She reached the highest levels of the Bolivian government.
하지만 어느 날 밀림을 정찰하다 정체가 발각됐다. 타냐는 결국 게릴라군과 함께 지내야 했지만 어떤 이들에겐 너무나 어려운 여건이었다.
The first informations came from deserters, but that confirmed the information about foreigners in the region, armed and with the intentions of creating a guerrilla force.
군대에서 40명을 보내 그 지역을 정찰하게 한 것이다.
And that patrol was ambushed by the guerrillas. And on the 10th of April, we had another two ambushes. Two patrols were ambushed again by the guerrillas.
최는 부대를 둘로 나누어 호아킨이란 반란군 지도자로 하여금 후방을 맡게 하고 자신은 전방의 군사들을 맡기로 했다. 리지드 브레와 시로 부스토스에게는 피델 카스트로에게 메시지를 전할 것을 지시했다. 두 사람은 이를 실행에 옮기려다 볼리비아 무장군에게 발각돼 포로로 잡혀갔다. 미구엘 아로요 중사가 그들을 신문했다.
Bustos practically spoke voluntarily because he was very worried. We gave him food and he talked. Bustos drew images of the Cuban guerrillas without naming them. And that's when they were able to see Guevara's profile, with the beard and his pipe.
이로써 최의 생존 사실이 분명해졌다.
When he resurfaced in Bolivia in 1967, you see the CIA intelligence reports saying, well, I guess we were wrong in thinking that he might have been dead these last several years because it appears that he's alive and well and promoting revolution in the jungles of Bolivia.
CIA에서는 1967년 6월 볼리비아에 요원들을 몇 명 파견했다. 그중 한 명인 펠릭스 로드리게스는 18살에 피그즈만 침공을 위한 훈련을 받고 피델 카스트로와 체의 암살에 지원했던 인물이다.
The Bolivian government was sure that he was trying to promote the guerrilla in the area.
볼리비아의 바리엔토스 대통령은 체가 자신의 나라에서 게릴라전을 펼치려는 것을 깨닫고 대대적인 선전 활동을 시작했다.
They would say that if we went out, we would be mugged and raped by guerrilla fighters. That's what would be rumored.
체게바라가 돌아왔다는 소식을 들은 미국은 발빠르게 볼리비아를 돕기 위해 나섰다.
It is absolutely clear that the CIA made this number one priority in the summer of 1967. Lyndon Johnson was monitoring day by day the progress that was being made and tracking down and eliminating the great revolutionary Che Guevara.
케네디 대통령의 임기 시절에 조직된 그린베리라 불리는 소수정예의 반란 진압군이 볼리비아에 파견됐다.
The mission was to train from scratch a Bolivian Ranger battalion, specifically trained in tactics, to go after Che Guevara and his guerrillas.
선발된 800명의 볼리비아 군인들이 라 에스페란사란 캠프에서 훈련을 받았다.
Metódicamente, ¿no? We were like kids in a toy store, practicing with real war munitions, particularly machine guns, rifles, hand grenades, rockets.
They were willing students, they were enthusiastic. They turned out to be good soldiers.
반대 분위기가 거세지자 체는 떠날 시기임을 알았지만 모두를 데려가진 못했다. 최 일행이 후방과 헤어진 지도 넉 달이 지났다. 후방의 군사들은 탄야를 비롯한 병자들과 함께 기지에 머물러 있었다.
She was physically in very poor shape. She had a uterus cancer that was eating her, and there was a report from the guerrilla that she was delaying the movement of the guerrilla because she could hardly walk.
최는 그들과 합류한 다음 안데스 산맥을 통해 마지막 탈출을 감행하려 했다. 며칠 거리 간격이었던 전방과 후방은 각각 히우그란지를 향해 가기 시작했다. 8월 31일 호아킨의 후방이 먼저 도착했다.
And they contacted a peasant to show them how to cross the river.
하지만 그 농부는 이들을 배신하고 호아킨이 건너가려는 지점을 군대에게 발설했다.
And when this group was crossing the river, ambushed them and killed them, including Tania, the only woman on the group.
She was shot through both arms, went through the whole body, and her body went right into the water. And basically, the whole guerrilla was annihilated with the exception of two guys.
Once his comrades in the second column were wiped out, the story of Che Guevara in Bolivia was really a survival story after that. A kind of epic journey. They moved from a beastly hot, thorny wilderness up into the high Andes, underfed, under ambush, sick.
39살의 체게바라와 그 일행은 그해 9월까지 10달 동안 험난한 볼리비아 밀림 속을 헤맸다.
Che had lost almost half his body weight. His hair was matted and long. His men were hallucinating.
Juan Pablo Chan was practically blind. Paco was now crazy. He was mentally insane. Willie didn't want to fight anymore. It was all terrible.
죄는 베니뇨에게 꼭 필요한 물자를 조달해 오라고 했다. 이들은 라이게라의 마을에 접근하는 도중에 복병과 마주쳤다.
We automatically went from 22 men to 17. We lost 3. They got me. The bullet entered here and stayed here by the medulla. I was able to return to where Che was located.
온몸이 만신창이가 된 지친 게릴라들은 라이게라 부근의 협곡으로 천천히 이동했다. 결국 10월 8일에 현지 농부에게 발각돼 군 사관에게 신고당했으며 제2유격대대가 그 지역에 즉시 파견됐다.
Everyone had to get their weapons and get ready. One of the columns was so large that it had 650 soldiers transporting during the night.
So I got about 70 men with me and went down to La Higuera and from there to the ravine.
볼리비아 유격대가 산을 내려오자 최 일행은 자신들이 포위됐음을 깨달았고 빠져나가기 위해서는 싸워야만 했다.
We received 5 from the guerrillas. 2 soldiers were killed. So we started fighting.
게릴라는 수적으로 크게 불리했다.
Some of the guerrillas were killed. Che himself was wounded, and his rifle was literally shot out of his hand. He was incapable of firing it.
윌리라는 볼리비아 게릴라가 그를 부축해 안전한 곳으로 데려가려 했다.
I had 2 soldiers for security about 15 meters up. They had seen these 2 guys trying to get out of the ravine, coming slowly, and they waited. They were right up to them.
이제 2 사람에겐 달아날 곳이 없었다.
One thing that caught my attention was he was carrying a small pan with 6 eggs. He was very careful with these 6 eggs, probably because he was going to his food for the next days. No? So I asked him, "Who are you?" And he said to me, "Look, I am Che, and I'm worth more alive than dead."
대부대를 동원해야 했지만 어쨌든 체게바라는 마침내 체포됐다. 볼리비아인들은 피해 굶주려 있었다. 하지만 그를 구해줄 수 있는 사람은 그가 그토록 증오하는 이들이었다. (1967년 10월 8일) 혁명을 이루겠다는 체게바라의 꿈은 11개월 동안의 도피 끝에 볼리비아의 밀림 속에서 처절하게 끝을 맺었다.
We knew Che had been taken prisoner. We planned an escape, to get out and report what had occurred, the truth about Bolivia.
게릴라는 대부분 사살되고 체와 반란군 윌리는 호위를 받아 협곡을 빠져나갔다.
I gave him a soldier to lean on, and he walked all the way.
It's an arduous hike. It takes several hours, and they took him to La Higuera, where he was placed in the little mud-walled schoolhouse there.
They had put Che in the place where I worked, and they guarded him in a very responsible manner.
당시 학교 교사였던 훌리아 코르테스는 호기심이 생겨 교실에 들어온 포로를 보여줄 것을 요청했다.
He was an extraordinarily handsome man. He wasn't the man depicted to us. Black, ugly, evil. His eyebrows, his nose, his mouth, all of his features were perfect. I then went to my home and brought back a small bowl of soup which I brought to his cell. No one stopped me from doing so. He drank it with pleasure and thanked me. He said it was worth gold.
기리 프라도 대위도 체와 얘기를 나눴다.
I asked him, why didn't you give up a few weeks ago? Why didn't you just disband your guerrilla? Where would I go, he said. And that was his real drama. He had no place to go.
한편 바이에 그란데에서는 CIA의 필릭스 로드리게스와 볼리비아 군 사령관들이 이 소식을 접했다.
That evening we celebrated. I bought a couple of bottles of scotch and they celebrated.
필릭스 로드리게스와 볼리비아군의 센테노 대령은 다음날 라이게라에 도착했다.
As you enter the room here on the left side, he was tied down in the floor, and in front of him was the dead body of two Cubans. He has lost. He looks like a beggar. You feel sorry, pity at the way he looked. I mean, he was a total disaster.
센테노 대령은 죄를 신문하려 했다.
Colonel Centeno was the one who did the talking. I just stood there with the other officer, and he started asking questions to Che. Che would not answer him. Until Centeno got mad and said, well, you are a foreigner, you came to my country, least you can do is answer me. And he would not answer him. So he left the room.
펠릭스는 체게바라가 체포됐다는 소식을 전했다. 이 소식은 라틴 아메리카 여러 나라의 CIA 기지를 통해 전달됐다. 워싱턴까지 전해지는 데는 몇 시간 정도 걸렸다. 필릭스는 체가 입을 열지 않을까 해서 다시 그에게 돌아갔다.
Whenever I tried to touch tactical interest to us, how many people he had with him, where he had come from, he would smile to me and say, you know, I cannot answer that. A lot of time, to be honest with you, I was not even paying attention to what he was saying. My mind was running the image that I have seen him so many times next to Mao Zedong and the Soviet leaders and the uniform and the way he looked at that point in time. I mean, it was quite a striking situation, a unique situation, really.
펠릭스는 최를 바깥으로 데려와 기념사진을 찍었다.
And at that point in time, I felt that, you know, his life was going to be spared.
잠시 후 학교 건물 안에서 총성이 울려 퍼졌다.
I thought they had shot Che. So I run back, I open the door and he looked at me, I look at him, and then I run to next door, and then I saw Willie, who was, you know, just dying at that point in time. And then the soldier who shot him told me, the Capitan, he tried to escape, which is ridiculous. I mean, he received order to execute him.
몇 시간 후 라파스에 있는 볼리비아의 최고 사령부로부터 현장에 있는 최고 사령관에게 전갈이 왔다.
Colonel Centeno was in the field, all the captains were with him. And there were only 2 lieutenants and myself. I had the rank of captain in La Higuera, so they called me.
볼리비아 군엔 숫자 암호가 존재했다.
We knew from advance that 500 was Che, 600 was dead, and 700 was to keep him alive. So I asked them to repeat it, that they confirmed there was 500, 600 from the high command. And that's where I received the order 500, 600.
센테노 대령이 라이게라에 돌아오자 필릭스는 그에게 이를 보고해 명령을 취소할 수 없는지 물었다.
Colonel, there are orders from your command to eliminate the prisoner. The order from my government is to try to keep him alive at all costs, and we have helicopters and mobility to move him out of here to Panama.
하지만 볼리비아에서는 이를 용납치 않았다. 저지른 죄가 너무 컸기에 모두가 그의 처형을 원했다.
Very early, we heard the radio news that Che had been captured and that he was dead.
교사였던 훌리아 코르테스는 필릭스에게 다가갔다.
Julia Cortez came to where I was and said, mi capitán, when are you going to shoot him? He said, Señora, why do you say that? She showed me the radio and said, the radio is giving the information that he already died from combat wounds. So at that point in time, I thought there was no point in waiting any longer.
워싱턴이나 볼리비아 대통령 측에서는 아무런 반응을 보이지 않았기 때문에 필릭스는 사형 명령을 집행하기로 했다.
It was their decision, their war, and he attacked their country. So it was their responsibility, and I shouldn't interfere with that and let history continue its course.
볼리비아 정부에서는 체게바라가 체포된 지 불과 하루 만에 사형을 언도했고 뉴스에서는 체가 전투 중에 이미 죽었다는 소식을 전했다. 체게바라는 동료의 시신과 함께 독방에 갇힌 채 자신의 죽음만을 기다릴 수밖에 없었다. 10월 9일 오후 12시 30분에 CIA 요원 필릭스 로드리게스가 학교 건물에 들어왔다.
He was sitting in the bench. I stood in front of him and said, Commander, I'm sorry, I tried my best. He turned white like a piece of paper. So he composed himself and said, it's better this way. I should have never been captured alive. And I asked him, say, if I can't send a message, do you want anything for your family? And then he changed and said, then if you can't tell my wife to remarry and try to be happy.
Che stood up. He thought that Rodriguez was going to kill him then and there. Felix told me that he then embraced Che as a gesture to a kind of noble enemy, said goodbye, left the room. Rodriguez went out and asked for volunteers.
마리오 테란이란 젊은 하사관이 앞으로 나섰다.
Came to where he was because I knew he was to be executioner and said, look, don't shoot from here up, shoot from here down because he's supposed to die from combat wound.
테란은 반란군 지도자를 처형하기 위해 독방에 들어갔다.
When he sees Tehran entering the room, he knows that this is the man that's going to kill him. You know when you look into your murderer's eyes. He knows he's about to die. When Tehran came in, he said, shoot, coward, you're only going to kill a man. In other words, you're not going to kill my ideas. Tehran fired several bursts into Che. The first seemed to hit his arm. Che fell on the ground and bit his hand hard to avoid crying out. And then Tehran finished him off with another burst, something like 9 bullets that entered his body. The fatal bullet entered his thorax and he asphyxiated on his own blood.
Captain Gary Prado and Captain Celso Torrelio came down. We all came into the room. And then Gary Prado said, Mi Capitan, I think we have finished with the guerrilla in Latin America.
He wasn't even put in the helicopter. He was just tied to it. I saw it with my very own eyes. He was tied on with a rope.
헬리콥터가 떠나기 전 사제 한 명이 앞으로 나섰다.
He gave the last benediction. He's the man who is an atheist, who doesn't believe in God, and he did receive the benediction of the Catholic Church.
최의 시신은 바에그란데의 한 병원으로 옮겨졌다. 주변 지역 사람들은 그의 시신을 보기 위해 찾아왔는데 그중엔 인물 사진작가 르네 카디마도 있었다.
When I went in, there were about 10 soldiers guarding Che. I got on top of the washer to get a good angle. Kneeled a bit and took one of the best pictures circulating the world, I'm told.
그날 저녁, 필릭스는 볼리비아군의 고급 장교를 만났다. 그는 이것이 체게바라의 시신임을 사람들이 믿지 않을까봐 걱정하고 있었다.
He said, if Fidel Castro denied that this is Che Guevara, we need really a proof of it. And he said, cut his head and put in formaldehyde. He said, you are a head of a state, you cannot present the head of a human being as a proof. So he said, Colonel, cut both hands and put in formaldehyde. So they cut both hands at this level.
체가 사망했다는 증거로 그의 두 손이 쿠바에 보내졌다.
It was the next day when Che's body disappeared.
체의 시신은 죽은 동료의 시신과 함께 공개되지 않은 장소에 비밀리에 매장됐다.
It was a combination decision between the Bolivian president, the CIA, and the generals on the ground there. The idea was to deny Che a burial place where his followers would find him and be able to render tribute to him.
마침내 10월 18일, 피델은 쿠바 국민들에게 체의 죽음을 공표했다.
When I heard that Che had died, I didn't believe it. I didn't think it was possible.
전 세계 곳곳에서 그의 처형을 반대하는 시위가 열렸다. 체의 죽음으로 그의 전설은 더 큰 힘을 얻었다.
His face has come to be the quintessential icon for youthful defiance of the status quo.
체의 매장지는 그 후 28년 동안 비밀에 붙여졌지만 작가인 존 리 앤더슨이 이 비밀을 밝혀냈다.
I had an interview with the retired general Mario Vargas Salinas, and it occurred to me almost in passing just to ask him, so, where's Che's body? Which I knew to be a military secret. And much to my shock, he sat back down and said, well, look, I've been wanting to tell you about that. And he told me.
마침내 바에그란데에서 7명의 유해가 발견됐다.
And I'll never forget going to this pit, and they just told me under their breath, they said, "John Lee, that's him." You're aware that you're looking at a crime scene that an entire state had tried to cover up. And so you feel history just wash over you. And I felt great about revealing that history.
체게바라 일행의 시신은 마침내 사후 30년 만에 쿠바 산타바바라의 묘지에 안장됐다.
His beautiful martyrdom helped play out in nurturing and encouraging future generations of revolutionaries in Latin America and elsewhere.
하지만 체게바라의 혁명은 오직 쿠바에서만 성공을 거두었다.
The problem is that he failed, and none of the things that he wanted to change have been changed yet. Most of the people that had contact with Che Guevara and helped him in any sort of way really pay the consequences.
From the whole group in Bolivia, only 3 of us survived. 3 of us Cubans. I am in part glad that Che did not live to see all the things that are now going on in Cuba. Because he would die of a heart attack, rage and disgust.
베니뇨는 파리에서 망명 중이며 쿠바에선 매국노 취급을 받고 있다. 볼리비아에서는 아직도 체게바라를 기억한다. 사회주의자인 대통령 에보 모랄레스는 미국을 비판하는 인물 중 하나다.
If we had a Che Guevara today, we would easily be undergoing huge transformations. His principles for life, sovereignty, for Latin America, for the people, it is these principles that we share and take with us as we go forward. Now is when we need a Che. Not so much for the armed force, but for the defense of humanity.
Nobody talks about guerrilla warfare anymore today. It's all terrorism. It's not Che Guevara, it's Osama bin Laden and people like him. Che was almost a purist. He didn't agree with terrorism. There were no car bombs in Che's world of war. There were no suicide bombers. There was the idea of noble sacrifice. In the end, Che was a paradox, both someone whose social indignation and passion I can empathize with and understand, but someone whose cold logic at times and whose rhetoric, and sometimes whose actions I found terrifying. Someone whose aspirations were to change the world and who tried but ultimately failed.